Hey guys, Old God Gaming here, and I'm going to be teaching you a little lesson in finance. Well, more specifically, the Magic the Gathering economy. Broke out the old reading glasses, even found the old calculator, and I have crunched all the numbers for all of you to give you a dollar value idea of what the economy looks like in Magic the Gathering Arena. Now, I've got to take these off. I can't actually see with those. I've got contacts in. So I'm going to break this review into two separate pieces. One is for the introductory piece, kind of give you a once-over on the economy and the two types of currency that are inside the game, how to get it, and how to best use it. That's going to be about a 3 to 4 minute segment. And if that's all you're interested in, you can kind of stop right there, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and move on from there. But if you really want to see some of the crunchy numbers to really get down to the dollar value of individual currencies and find out how Wizards is actually paying you to play Magic, stick around to the end and I'll point it out. Now, I'll admit it's a little bit crunchy. It is a PowerPoint presentation. It's got slides, but it'll be worth your time to get an education on how this works. So let's start off assuming that you know nothing about Magic the Gathering Arena. You've heard about it, you didn't get into the closed beta, and this is your first time actually seeing the game. You'll take note here in the upper right-hand corner, we have two different types of currencies. Now, this should not be new to anybody who's ever played a free-to-play model game. They always do something like this. So you have gold, which represents your daily free currency that you can buy stuff in. It's a little slower, a little grindier, but it allows you to kind of keep up with the game. And then, of course, you have your pay-to-play currencies. Now, these are your gems in this case for Magic the Gathering Arena. Now, both of them can be exchanged for packs, and in the end, that's what you're shooting for. Unlike other forms of Magic the Gathering, Paper Magic, for example, or Magic the Gathering Online, those games have an online currency exchange. You can go through, obviously with Paper Magic, you can buy cards off of like TCG Player or something like that and get the cards you need to build your decks. Very similar with Magic the Gathering Online, where they have their own ticket currency that allows you to buy and sell cards, trade cards. However, Magic the Gathering is very different in the fact that it has no ability whatsoever to trade cards in between users. So if I've got a cool card that you want, I can't give it to you. There's no way in-game for that to happen. There's no way to buy them. There's no way to trade them. So Wizards has done some interesting things to be able to figure out, allow you to get the cards that you need. And this is done through the wild card system. But let's kind of skip to that for here in a second. So what we're looking at is gems and packs, or gems and gold. Gems and gold basically are used to purchase packs. So let's go with the pay-to-play version real quick. Purchasing gems. So if you are so inclined and have the financial abilities to do so, and let's face it, we're all Magic players, there is some disposable income floating around out there that you're throwing away on cardboard every day. You can funnel it through here. Obviously, the highest dollar value that it's going to get you the most bang for your buck is going to be the $100 mark at 20,000 gems. You can go all the way down to the $499 at 750. Now, I will take note, unfortunately, it doesn't show up on mine, but for the first-time users, if you're just getting in and you haven't purchased it already, they do have a welcome bundle. It comes dollars for $5 US, $4.99. You get 5 packs of Core 19 at 2,500 gems, and that kind of gets you started. It's a really good deal, and you'll really get into the nuts and bolts of that here shortly to figure out how good of a deal that really is. But it's a one-time deal, and once it's gone, it's gone. So if you're going to go the pay-to-play method, this is how you're going to do it. You're going to buy gems. Gems get you into events, special events that can only use gems to get into for starters, and it's also going to give you the ability to buy packs in mass. So if you're going the free-to-play model, gold is gold. That is how you're going to be purchasing your packs, unless you are moving to other areas like drafts that'll be able to convert gold into gems to allow you to get into some of these bigger markets. But basically, 1,000 gold equals up 1 pack. However, if you do have the gems, obviously you have the ability to buy them in larger bundles. Now, I've done the math, and this is all kind of the same. Like, there really isn't much difference between buying 3 packs or 6 packs. The value stays the same. Where you do start getting into better values is when you start getting into these larger bundles of 45 and 90 packs. That's when you start getting the buy a box promos. Those are ones that are only available, just like in real Magic, only available when you buy a box, and in this case it's these 45 to 90 pack ones. Now this is congruent to all of the packs across the sets that are currently legal in Arena. All of them have the same things. Now of course you get down to Ixalan and Rivals of Ixalan, they didn't have buy a box promos back then, so there aren't any advantages here to buying them in large unless you're really looking for cards from that set. Now Buying packs gets you access not only to the cards in the set that you're purchasing, but if you really want to build those competitive decks, you have a certain cards in your out, it also gives you access to wild cards. So Magic developed this fantastic system of the wild card system. And what it means is that whenever you crack a pack, and to make note, there are only 8 cards in a digital pack of Arena, except in special cases. So that's going to give you 5 commons, 2 uncommons, and 1 rare or mythic. But you also have the opportunity for cracking a pack and getting one of these. It's this wild card, and they match the rarities of the cards in the game. So you have common, uncommon, rare, mythic. Those wild cards can be traded in for any card that is currently available in MTG Arena. So if you're looking for a pair of Carnage Tyrants to add into your green Stompy deck, you just need to trade in the mythic wild cards to get them. You don't have to sit there and keep opening pack after pack after pack, hoping to get the cards you want. Those wild cards allow you to be able to pick those cards. So obviously, the more packs you open, the more wild cards you have. The more wild cards you have, the more access you have to any card in the game. This is mostly how I build my decks, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, currently, I'm working on my green Stompy deck, and a lot of that is M19 and Dominaria. So those are the 2 sets that I'm opening, and maybe I get lucky, and maybe I don't. But for the most part, I'm really looking for wild cards, because then I can just go get whatever I want, and not really kind of restricted to where you're going. Now, there is another thing I'd like to take note of when you're opening packs. Yeah, we don't want those changes. When you're opening these packs, you also have these gears in the right-hand corner. Now, these keep going up each tick, which is basically every 6 pack, to unlock an additional wild card for you. So this one here always stays at the uncommon variety as far as the uncommon rarity. So every 6 pack unlocks you a free uncommon wild card. This one, however, is alters. So you get the mythic, I think it's every 3 or 5. I'm almost positive it's every 5. But every 5 times around, this is normally a rare, and then every once in a while you get that 5th one that rolls around to unlock those mythic rares. So the basic meaning behind it is the more packs you open, the more access you have to wild cards. The more access you have to wild cards, the more decks you can build. So how do you build up your gold? So we'll get into some of the basics of building up gold. If you're going for the free-for-pay method. If you're going for the pay method, just send money to Wizards, and they will send you gems, and you can open up all the packs you want. One of my favorite YouTubers on YouTube right now who's doing MTG Arena is Merchant, and I watched him do his first openings right after the reset for Guilds of Ravnica. And he had like $600 worth of gems sitting in his queue. So he opened up like 540 packs of cards. It was unreal. It was absolutely insane. I myself did not. This is me post reset. The 2,500 gems you see here are the $5 that I send them for the welcome bundle. That's it. That's all the money I've ever put into this game. So building up your gold, let's take it from the we're playing free to play and we're just going to have to build up. Well, there's simple, easy ways to do that. Building up your gold is as simple as completing daily missions. Every single day that you log into MTG Arena, there's going to be a mission for you. Most of them are relatively simple. Cast 20 white or black spells. In this case, this is the win one, and this ticks all the way up to 15. Now, the win one is very heavily loaded in the fact that you get a big chunk on the first 4 or 5 wins that you get, and then it slowly trickles down to 25 gold for the last one. This one will also toss in some random cards. Now, normally these are commons or jank rares that kind of float around. Every once in a while you'll get a mythic. It happens from time to time, but those are also kind of added bonuses. The other way to do it, since we are directly after the reset, is you get weekly bonuses. So they have these weekly tracks that you can run on. Is if you get up to 15 wins, you can earn an additional 5 packs. So the more packs you earn, more wild cards. I think I've said that a few times. The other option, again, when you're starting off, you do have these quests that they will add daily that allow you to get these free welcome decks. Now, check my other videos. We are doing reviews on each of the welcome starter decks that they've available in the game. But at some point in time, you're going to unlock all 10, and they're done. So those are ways to get free cards, though, as far as rolling through this up. But basically, that's the grind. If you're going to be a new player and you don't intend to put a dime into it, this is how you're going to grind it out. Now, there are ways to convert gold into gems if you want to go down that route, and we will kind of cover that. When looking into the different game modes of the game, you have your ladder play, and that's competitive. And competitive is basically what you would consider in a standard game at your Friday Night Magic, where it's best 2 out of 3. Play is just one-offs. Play one game, win or lose, move on from there. But then you start getting into some of these more distinct ones, like the competitive constructive, for example. Competitive constructive takes 2 different types of currencies. It's either going to pay it in gold or pay it in gems. Now, I would never pay for gems or pay for an event in gems that I can pay for in gold. Gold is cheap. It's easy to come by. Takes a little bit to grind out. But if you can prevent it, I would not pay for events with gems. And this is basically where your payoffs come in. If you're able to get off all the wins and you've got good cards, you can take 1,000 gold and convert it all the way up to 2,100 golds and 3 extra cards on top of it. So this is how you're going to grind this out. As you continue the grind, though, you're going to find that where you're really going to want to go is drafting. Now, I don't know how good of a drafter playing you are. I myself, not very good. I'm not going to lie. Drafts and I do not get along very well, but you need to grind out 5,000 gold to be able to get into drafts. This is the only place in the game where you're able to convert gold, however, into gems, because the only payout here are gems. Now, you do get packs as well, but the only payouts for playing in drafts are going to be gems. So if you are a good draft player, grind your way out to 5,000 gems or 5,000 gold, get yourself into a draft. Now, basically, in order for you to earn gold in this one, you need to hit the 6 and 7 win mark. That's where you're really going to start seeing your money. Because as you can tell, let's say, for example, you did unwisely pay gems to get into this event, you wouldn't be breaking even in here until you hit the 6 win mark. So what the next step is to sit down and grind out and get more and more gems. No, I don't want to exit. Escape. Grind out more wins, and then you're going to get into the competitive drafts. So, competitive drafts are one of those rare events that you can only pay gems to get in. It takes 1,500 gems to get in, but the payouts are so much better. Keeping in mind, first off, just for entering the event, you're getting packs. The more wins you get, the more packs you get. But quite quickly, this piles up to the ultimate of 2,100 gems in 6 packs. If you're a good drafting player and this is, again, best 2 out of 3, with your entire draft pool to kind of work with. If you're good at draft, this is where you're going to want to make your money. So you start off with earning gold, doing daily missions, build your gold up, start building up gems through the regular draft system where you're paying gold and converting that into gems, get into the competitive drafting to get into here to get even bigger bucks as far as your bang for your buck. So that's going to stop the basic introduction into the economy of Magic the Gathering arena. This gives you an idea of how you can, from free to play, get into those larger economies. Now, if you are still interested to see how much the dollar value works out to, I've worked out all those numbers. So let's move on to that, shall we? So I have done this fantastic little PowerPoint presentation. I'm sure you're going to love it. Sorry, I'm a data analyst and an engineer. I do not do pretty, but I do data and I do crunching of numbers, and this is how this one works out. Okay, so now that you've purchased your gems, let's kind of get an idea what the dollar value of each individual gem works. Now, it's kind of redundant to go all the way down to 1 gem equaling 0.0049, so it's easier to kind of think of it in groups of 100. So if you do it at the best dollar value for purchasing, you're looking at 20,000 gems for $100 US. Now, I'm sorry for those of you that aren't inside the US. I don't know what the currency exchange is over there or what your buys are buying those, so you'll just have to bear with me on that one. So what this works down to is for every dollar that you spend on gems, you're getting 200-ish gems per, which basically comes out to 100 gems equaling 49 cents US. Now let's keep that number in mind and see what the value on that one is. So there's no real direct correlation to what the value of gold is versus the value of gems. So there's only one thing that we can compare it to, and that's when purchasing packs. So for what we know, 1 pack equals 1,000 gold, but the lowest that you can buy packs with gems is 3. So if you do the math, 3 packs equals 600 gems. Those are an even equation. And this allows you to get down into the nuts and bolts of how much gold itself is worth. So basically, 100 gold is worth 20 cents US. Whereas you look back, it's 49 cents. So gems inherently have almost over double the value of gold, which is why it's so valuable in the game. So let's really kind of get into this one. So when you start doing the grinding out the numbers and finding out what the dollar value, 1 pack equaling 200 gems or 1,000 gold is basically 98 cents. So you're paying basically $1 US per pack that you open inside Magic the Gathering Arena. But paying for events and getting stuff is where you start spending money, and you can start hemorrhaging some of the money that you're putting into it relatively quickly. So entering a competitive constructed event, for example. Now, you'll take note that it's 190 gems to pay for that event, but 1,000 gold. So those playing in gem get a discount. That's important to note. Now, while I did say that you shouldn't really try to prevent spending gems on events, they do get a discount for doing it. But that's because you're paying twice as much to do it. In any case, so it's 98 cents to get into a competitive constructed event. You need 2 wins to break even on a competitive constructed event, which is good. And 7 wins, as we discussed before, will net you over 2,100 gold. So this is a good place to get started. It's going to take you some time. You're going to start with those starter decks. It's going to take you a bit to build up to those, to getting to a good constructed deck, to be able to get to that level. But once you have, it's a good way to churn out gold. I know other people from other trading card games call it going infinite, where you can just spend money to make money, spend money to make money, spend money. You just end up in this endless loop where you're doing nothing but just turning in gold. This is where you're going to want to do that. Let's get into... Oh, I went too far. Let's go into drafting, though. Drafting is where it's a little tighter. And this is where, for me, being a player that I am, I'm not of the quality of player that I can sit down and do great at drafts. I have fun at drafts. I enjoy drafting, but I'm not really good at it, and I'm not going to lie. For this one here, it costs you $4.90 US to get into a draft, whether you're paying in gems or paying in gold. That's quite a bit. Now, it is important to note, when drafting, you are not getting the same packs that you would if you were purchasing packs from the store. You're getting full 15-pack cards with no access to wild cards. It's just like you'd be opening them up in your game store. So you're going to get the land that is going to go nowhere. You're going to get tokens occasionally. You're going to get stuff like that. And I don't know if you get the tokens, actually. But my point being is that you are going to get more cards out of what you're purchasing. No access to wild cards, but you will be able to pick and pull from that pool of cards that you're going through. But again, you need to be a good draft player to really make this work for you. Just to break even and get to the number of gems that you put in, or the amount of gold that you put in, you need 6 wins to even break even. Now, you do get an additional pack once you get to that point. So you actually go over being even once you hit there, but it's not until you hit that level. 7 wins, of course, not only gives you 200 gems in profit if you went that way, but you also get 2 additional packs. So this is a tight one, and it's the only way to really convert gold into gems. Moving on, we start getting into the more specific events, the more expensive events. Competitive drafting costs 1,500 gems, or basically $7.35 US. However, the turnout is so much better. You only need 3 wins to break even, and you're getting an additional 4 packs of cards on top of that. So once you hit that 2-3 win mark inside competitive draft, you've already broken even and you're already pulling cards. And these are packs that have the wild cards, have all the things you want. If you're a good draft player and you get to that 6 win mark, you're over doubling the amount of money that you've put into them. So by far, this is the direct route to do it. If you're a good draft player, build up your gold, go to the regular drafts, get into the competitive drafts. This is the way it's going to go. Now, it's going to cost you $7.35 to get into a draft. I think the last time I drafted, that was actually well below what I paid to get into an actual paper Magic draft. Sealed events, now these come and go. Obviously, we're recording this at the time of Guilds of Ravnica being out, and there's a sealed event, which I will unfortunately blow 2,000 gems on in my next video to show you what that's like, because even though I'm bad at it, I'm going to do it because it's fun. These are more expensive. These cost $9.80 to play in. I think it's $20 to get a pre-release pack anyway, so that's less than half. But again, this is very top-loaded. You need 6 wins to break even. You're getting extra packs, which is an additional 600 gems to do it. 7 wins to really get to make out on this one. So this is a really tough area to grind out your wins. So if you're going to play in sealed events, I don't know that I would go in for it for the money-making, for the ability to increase your card count. I'd mostly take it just because it's fun, because you really want to see the new set and play with the new cards. So this is the part that you all have been waiting for. Wizards of the Coast. Imagine that. Is giving you free money to play Magic. And I'm going to show you how. Missions are free. They come around every single day and they equal free gold. And we've already discussed, we've figured out that 100 gold equals 20 cents, or 20 cents US. So on average, you can get 1,200 to 1,500 free gold during the course of a regular day. Now, the missions vary, and it depends on your performance, but that's basically, it counts out to about a pack and a half a day that you can earn just for doing daily gaming and getting your wins in. If you start extrapolating that out, that's 1,840 gold available, plus free packs during the course of the week. That's free money. Extrapolate that out even further, and you're looking at 33,600 gold for free per month if you play every day and complete your missions. And do the math, that comes out to $67.20 every month for free just to play Magic the Gathering. So I know what it's like if you're not going to be one of those players to go in and dump a ton of money into the game and get those. I mean, yeah, that's going to happen. You're going to have those folks who are going to go out and buy all the gems, but they're all going to be playing themselves in the top ranks and the golds for weeks and weeks and weeks. I know it's a grind, but it can be done. And when you sit down and look at the amount of packs you're looking at, this is a month. This is 336 packs over the course of a month. How many booster boxes is that? 5? I mean, it's ridiculous. And they're giving them away for free. So all you need to do is just log in every day. Do your dailies. Once those are done, just build up the gold and buy your packs. You're also getting free packs every week with the weekly missions that they've talked about and those random cards. I mean, maybe you get something out of it, maybe you don't. To highlight and to make sure that we get all the... You can, of course, convert gold into gems by drafting. Gems get buy bigger packs and allow you those buy block promos that you can get into. If you really want Nexus of Fate, well, then you need the gems to be able to go and buy that. And more packs equal more wild cards. So I hope that you found this informative, that I sat down and broke out the old calculator for you to be able to get all the numbers in. But really, I've played other games. I've played other games that were free to play and had these crazy economies. And it always felt to me like in those games, if you weren't paying to play that game, you didn't have a chance. You weren't going to make it. There's no way. Anybody that puts $100 into that game is going to be light years ahead of you. And while that might be true now at the very beginning of the open beta and you're just getting in, that might be true right now. 3 months from now, that will not be true. You will have had people that have been in there long enough that have opened up over almost 1,000 packs. They're right there with them. And because there's no economy, a rare is a rare, a mythic is a mythic, and they're all wild cards. So there aren't $90 cards that are out there. Shocklands just came back. That's a rare. I got stacks of those. It's not a big deal to be able to go through and grind this out. So keep at it. Keep pushing through. Do your dailies. Get your wins where you can. Work on one deck. Pick one deck and get it where you want. And don't go spreading the wealth around on those wild cards. You need one good, consistent deck that can get you on average of about 75% winnage of wins to make sure that you're not up all night playing Magic. Although if that's your thing, go ahead. So my hope is that you found this informative. I know it was a little dry towards the end, but it is kind of nuts and bolty of the economy. So if you enjoyed this video, by all means, please hit that like button down below. Drop in a comment. Let me know if there's something I missed or something more you want to add on to this. I intend to do a whole series of Arena 101s, and this was just the first topic that came up. As always, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the arena.